We are now live. You are welcome to day 5. Sorry, if you've joined and you can hear me, please, and you can hear me clearly, please let me know. Very, very important. We have changed location. We are now back to the trenches. So I need to be sure that everything is intact. You can see me clearly. You can hear me clearly. And as usual, immediately you join, just copy the link and share on your WhatsApp status. Just copy the link and share on your WhatsApp status. Just copy the link and share on your WhatsApp status. We are 50 already. Once you join, copy the link, share on your WhatsApp status quickly. All right, copy the link and share your WhatsApp status quickly. You're welcome officially to FSVE day 5. It's been a ride. It's been a ride from the first day. And yeah, we have an amazing session today. Sorry, just give me a minute. As you join, just copy the link and share on your WhatsApp status and share everywhere. If you are following from X, just repost. If you are following from Facebook, just share. If you are following from LinkedIn, just repost. Welcome to FSVE 2.0 day 2. Someone said, what happened to our room? I'm back to trenches, guys. And the reason why I'm back to trenches is because today is not about me. We have an amazing guest in the house, and today is going to be an amazing day. So as you join, just share on your WhatsApp status. We are still expecting more people to join us. As you join, we are 99 already. Okay, just keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Yeah, 100 plus now. As you join, just share the link on your WhatsApp status. Share the link everywhere. All right, so let's have a quick recap, quick one, before I bring up our guests for tonight. We have an amazing guest tonight, and personally, I'm pumped about tonight. I'm really looking forward to tonight and everything that is going to be shared tonight. So, over the past 4 days, or over the past 5 days, today is day five, and between Monday till now, we've covered so much. We started first by examining the fact that financial empowerment does not start with what you have, it starts with who you are. And we've broken down this to five things that when we talk about who you are, we are talking about five things. And we don't have much time. If not, I would have asked one of you to just give me those five things. But then let me give them again to you. We have That's who you are now, that's your being, right? Because we started with being, then we went to doing. And I already said that your being has to do with who you are. Five things that make up who you are. One is your experiences, two, your mindset, three, your values, four, your principles, and five, your beliefs. Those are the five things that fundamentally, they are other things definitely, but these are the five major things that make up who you are. If these five things are checked, then you can be sure that that particular chapter is done with. And the interesting thing about your mindset, working on your mindset, for example, now, is that it is not something that you do and you get to a point where you feel like you are done, like you have completely worked on your mindset, like you are done working on your mindset. By 8:15, I'm going to bring up our speaker, and yeah, she's going to pick it up from there. But I just need to lay this foundation so that you would know that we are gradually. It's been a journey. I told you already from day one that this is a journey, right? We are on an adventure, and every single day is important. If this night is your first time joining, trust me, you are joining very late, and you don't have to leave, but as soon as you are done with this session, ensure that you go back to day one and go and pick it up from there, because tonight's session will only make sense to you. Tonight's session will only help you get the kind of results you want to get when you are understood what we've been sharing so far over the past 4 days. Again, this is a journey. And if you are going on a journey, you can't afford to skip a point, right? You can't afford to skip a checkpoint. Every checkpoint is important. The moment you are already in another direction, you have diverted, like you are no longer on the journey again, which means that you will not get your destination. Of course, there are many ways that lead to a destination many times, but then this particular one, the journey of financial empowerment, this way is like the only way. I told you, was it 2 days ago, that money flows in the direction of value, which means that for you to be able to attract money, you need value, right? And yesterday, we discussed the fact that um, it is not enough to start. The energy you would need to start is not what we keep you going, right? And I gave you two things that would help you keep at your digital skill. Eventually we named that the value, money flows in the direction of value within the context of FSVE. We already explained that the value in this context is a skill, digital skills specifically. We dealt with these things in details over the past couple of days. But then I told you yesterday there are two things that will help you keep at your digital skill until you start getting results. It will help you start getting results, and it will help you keep going even after you start getting results. One is staying around possibilities, staying around environment that harbors possibilities. Two is knowledge. And as searching possibility, I mentioned that until you see it as possibility, you may never have it in reality. And I gave an example of Abraham, that when God wanted to do amazing things through the lineage of Abraham, one thing he asked him to do was to go outside and look at the stars, because God wanted to expand his mind to see the possibility of the promise he has for him, of the things he's going to do through his life. And he wanted him to He wanted to open up his mind to that reality. Then on that knowledge, I told you that maintain the mindset of an amateur, not the skill of an amateur. Ensure that you are an expert. But when it comes to your mind, ensure that you are not an expert. And what I meant by that I explained was that you need to constantly learn, you need to constantly evolve. You can't get to the peak of your game. You need to constantly evolve. Tonight, we have an amazing speaker here. And yesterday, I told you that there are three fundamental business principles that you need to understand when it comes to the business of your skill. I said branding, I said marketing, and I said positioning. Right? We have Blossom Affia in the house, and okay.
Okay, so hi Ini, I can't hear you anymore. Are you still here with us?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Hi, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. So I'm going to introduce you now, then you can just take it off from there. Um, it's time already to bring up our speaker for tonight. And I mean, we already trended a flyer in the afternoon. We've done that some days ago. And just to introduce her, I would say that I left social media last year, and to be very honest, in between my break, I was coming. I was sometimes I will come on LinkedIn, right? To maybe from Upwork, and then I want to follow up on the client on LinkedIn. So sometimes I would come to LinkedIn to try and follow up on the client. So I was coming to LinkedIn intermittently, even though I was on a break from my platforms. And one thing I noticed was there was usually that lady that was always popping up on my feed. And when she pops up on my feed, her posts always go viral. Now, initially, it didn't catch my attention because again, I wasn't really showing up on LinkedIn. I wasn't posting. I didn't post throughout, and I wasn't really engaging because I wasn't trying to show up. Right? I was just there to just follow up on clients. But then eventually, almost every time I come to the platform, I would see her post. Then eventually, I noticed that I wasn't the only one that was noticing it. I think it was my best friend and I that were discussing, and we just noticed that there's this new lady, not new, but then I was seeing her for like the first time, right? And before I left, I wasn't really seeing the name. And before you know it, Blossom came and literally turned LinkedIn upside down. That's the way I like to describe it. Because people go viral on LinkedIn, but Blossom doesn't go viral. Blossom is virality herself, literally. And when you look at this level of results, it is too consistent to be luck. It is too consistent to be tagged as okay, she was just lucky. And that is why I've brought her tonight so that she would, because she's the best person to talk about personal branding. She's literally the best person to help you guys get started on LinkedIn. And because LinkedIn is an integral part of my growth, it is very important that we talk about it at FSVE. And I'm so excited to bring up Blossom Affia to FSVE Day 5. They can pick it up from here, Blossom. Thank you so much for granting our request. So I'm just going to leave the stage now so that I can just take it off from there. Thank you.
Okay, so hi everybody. Good evening. How are we doing? How was our day? I don't know. I can't see the chat, so I wish I could see the conversations going on. Okay, I can see people. Okay, let's see some energy. How are you guys doing? Oh, I can see the bloom circle. Okay. I'm seeing some familiar people already. So whenever I come to a platform like this, by the grace of God, one of the things I love to do is to acknowledge some people that I can recognize in the comment section. But now it's a bit difficult. But I see every one of you. I see the energy, and I'm glad you're all right. Hello, Opeyemi. Hi, Michael. Hi, Ifunaya. Hi, Ijoma. Hi, Promise. Hi, Joanne. Hello, everybody. Hi, Praise. I'm so excited to read from you guys, all right? So, wait, let's start this way, okay? Because I want to be sure that we are all on the same page. How many of you are actively building on LinkedIn? Because one thing I've noticed about this event is that it's not just a LinkedIn thing. I think I saw the flyer on IG as well, and a lot of people came through IG. So, how many of us are actively building on LinkedIn? Let me see in the comment section. You have an account on LinkedIn, you're posting there. So I want to see I am or I am not. I am or I am not. I am or I am not. Hi, Adoni. I can see you guys. Hello. You guys are making me shy. Please, please, let me concentrate so I'll deliver. Thank you so much. Okay, I can see not yet. Okay, I'm ever ready. I'm active. I'm not. Joanne says she's not. All right. Okay, I am. Okay, okay, okay. I'm not. Okay, that means we have both people that have an understanding of LinkedIn and branding, and then we have others that have not started building on LinkedIn at all. So I want to officially welcome every one of you to the LinkedIn fold and family. Like I used to say, like I love to preach LinkedIn. So anywhere I go and I see people gathered, I want them to understand the importance, the relevance of LinkedIn in the society now. So before I start, I want to give God all the glory for making today possible. It's not by power, not by might. It's not even by strength. You heard what Ini said. So my journey has been one that anytime I get to talk to people about, I attribute it to God because it's not normal. All right, it's not normal. But I give God all the glory, and I really want to thank Ini. All right. I don't know. There's something about him that I don't know just made this happen because I know the number of people that have reached out to me to like come to their event and talk and all of that. And I've had very tangible reasons not to show up. But for in this case, it was very different. And I believe that God actually sent me here for somebody, and my story, my journey, I pray it encourages you. It also helps you show up better online and on LinkedIn. Okay, so are we ready for tonight? We don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to, talk about LinkedIn, but in the most personal way, in the most, intentional way, in the most, intimate way, because I'm not a kind of teacher that will come and then, just tell you, okay, go do this, go do that. I want you to see the possibilities from my own story. All right. So, one of the things I got to understand about this gathering here is that it has to do with empowerment for students, young professionals, undergraduates, graduates, but people that are young and they are upcoming and they want to see the possibilities of social media. Where can they start from? Where do they go? What do they do? What platform should they hop on and all of that? So I'm just going to start with a brief story about myself. Okay. So yes, I'm Blossom Affia. Um I'm a content strategist, a revenue-led content strategist, a brand strategist as well, and I am a founder of a global marketing agency, Credence. And I think December 2024, yes, that was when I decided to come on LinkedIn and, start building. What happened to me that time was, I don't know, we have a lot of freelancers here, and I'm sure some of you have tried to build on Upwork, on Fiverr, different social media platforms, and all of that. That was me. I was a Fiverr girly. Like, I was so good on Fiverr that I was ranked, I think, I was among the top five in my niche. That's for like 2-3 gigs on Fiverr. So at least I was making the money, or at least small money. I was very excited, and I was content with it. So it was enough for me to do the basic things I had to do for myself at that point. But then it was beautiful because a lot of people that knew me that time, Blossom, we're ranking this on Fiverr and all of that. I was like, yes, so God is good. So one day I was staying with my friend, and then I got a notification from Fiverr. Fiverr told me that they've restricted my account. You know when they say everywhere will first blow, everywhere was blurred because I know the amount of sweat I put into my profile. The clients I had, I was working with on website, I was a content writer, blog writer, and all of that. So I had a lot of companies in China, Hong Kong. I was writing content for them on Fiverr. So it was like a dream. Like how, in fact, I don't know what we can do about this, but it's so unfair sometimes. And if you're like someone that's built on Fiverr, you discover that most of these restrictions they don't come with reasons at all, because you try to ask them, what did I do? Like, tell me, at least let me know what I did. And then they're giving you generic responses. So it was that bad. It was so bad. Okay. It was so bad that I could not even cry. I didn't know how to start because all of my work source of income, it was all tied to Fiverr. So it was just like a dream. But then I remember that day I stayed in my room, I was so numb. I was like, God, who sent me? But then I picked up myself, after some days, and I was able to, continue my life. By the way, I'm a student, all right, so I had to focus on other things, aspects of my life. Then December 2024, I was just sitting down randomly when my school mother at the time called me and was like, Blossom, have you tried building on LinkedIn? Oh, LinkedIn looks like a kind of place you like, because I'm not an Instagram girly, I'm not really an X person, I'm an introvert, so I don't even know how to do these things, all right? I don't know how to do this content live and all of that. So it was very difficult for me to have an account on these platforms. So my school mother knows me. I'm like a kind of nerdy. I like to read books. I'm like serious kind of person. So she told me LinkedIn is that place where you can unleash this your seriousness. Go and try building them. So I already had the app because someone in my church helped me download the app at some point. So I was like, okay, let me open this platform and try it. By then I was still broke, trying to recover from the Fiverr loss and everything. So that was me. I took myself to LinkedIn December 2024, and I think I started with two impressions. In fact, the first post I wrote that time, maybe one day when I'm bored and I scrolled out, I went to screenshot it and write a post about it. I don't even know what I was writing because I was so lost. Like LinkedIn was so, I'm telling you, LinkedIn is a lot better now. That time, LinkedIn was so professional and everybody was serious and all of that. But regardless, I started showing up, all right? I was just posting my mind, anything that enters my head. I wasn't even clear, I didn't have clarity. And that's for a lot of you here, because I think a lot of young people have this perception that before you start building on LinkedIn, you should have some level of expertise, clarity, all of that. I did not know my right from my left, but I was still showing up every day on LinkedIn, all right? That's why there's one of these quotes I love so much. You don't have to be perfect to start. You start and then you become perfect. So it's always in my head. So at that time when I started posting and I started making friends, like that was when I started meeting. I think the first person I met on LinkedIn was Jazz. That's Jasmine. So we were together, we were always gisting, clean. She was helping me with my designs and all of that. And I didn't still take the app seriously because in my head I'm like, maybe it's just for jobs and all of that. But I was still showing up and posting content. All right. So over time I started discovering that anytime I talk about content writing, people would always be interested. Remember I mentioned that I had companies I was working for when it comes to articles, blogs, and all of that. So I worked with these companies and it was easy for me to communicate my knowledge on LinkedIn. So I was just doing it randomly. My profile wasn't even optimized. I started putting out this content there, and then somewhere, somehow, my two impressions I had started increasing. But at that point, I didn't even understand the significance. I was just posting every day. So I didn't even look at the numbers. Like, I didn't know what they meant. I just know that my numbers were increasing and people started liking my content and all of that. So while it's increased and increased and increased, I started to notice some patterns. All right, some patterns, how things work on the platform and all of that. And it was so interesting to me. And by God's grace, I started seeing the numbers come up, come up, come up. And I started getting clarity on a lot of things. So what was that transformative period for me? All right. It was when I repositioned myself on LinkedIn. It's one of the things I'm going to talk about this night because you need to understand what it means to position yourself. You need to understand what branding means. So all the while where I was just showing up randomly, yes, I was getting inbound leads. I was getting people reach out to me for services and all of that. But I was still limited to a lot of things. I didn't know. There are many mistakes I made that most times when I sit back and I think back, I'm like, thank God for growth, all right? So, but when the numbers started coming, I was so happy. Oh. I was so happy. I was so so happy. Like I was so delighted that okay, this thing that once looked impossible, there is a possibility in it. People started seeing me and calling my name. I'm like, okay, interesting. Now, what's changed for me was the fact that I started having a lot of clarity, all right, in a lot of things. And that was why when it was time for me to reposition, it was a lot easier. I remember that was when I went to the studio, I took my professional picture, I set up my profile, all of that. At least at that point, I knew that this was the direction I was going. These are the people I want to help. These are the people that I want to show up for. So it was very, I mean, very, 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 very helpful. And before you know it, boom, my content started doing numbers. Because one thing about positioning on LinkedIn is that people get to understand you better, all right? People get to understand what you're doing, the people you help, your offers, and all of that. So it makes the whole thing easier for them to reach out to you naturally. So from a nobody to a somebody, from someone that was so introverted. See the way I'm talking to you guys. Before I would not even be able to put up my camera, but I think because of growth and the way I've consistently done these things, all right, it becomes easier over time. So like LinkedIn has actually transformed me in a lot of ways. I mean global opportunities, not just the Nigerian thinking. There was a phase where I was there. Now, I'm not saying this so that you put pressure on yourself. No, I'm saying this because there are seasons, there are phases when it comes to this creator journey. And you have to understand every season and be willing to put in the work. There are some comments I see in my comment section these days. It makes me so happy because I'm like, people really see these things. One of which is that there was a time where I was just working with Nigerian brands. There was a time where, like, my showing up, I was just, intertwined with the Nigerian economy, creator economy. But now, when I start having foreign recognitions and all of that, it just reminds me that, wow, there are phases to these things, all right? There are phases to this. And the beautiful thing about LinkedIn, once you can leverage the platform well, all right, and you're visible, the opportunities are endless. I think it was last year where I was invited like an all expense paid trip to an event as a moderator. It was nice. So the princess treatment was massive. Okay, I'm saying all these things because I want you to open your mind to a lot of things. The decision makers, the founders, the business owners, they're on LinkedIn. I mean, people that are ready to pay you for your service as long as you're valuable. That's why when Ini was saying it, I was like, I love that because there's some people that want to make money, but then they don't have the value to give. Those are not the kinds of people we want to raise in this particular training. So as much as you're here, you're listening to Ini, you're listening to myself, please and please ensure that you are very valuable. So with that, I think I can get started, and I believe someone here is also going to have a very powerful story to tell someday. And I'm also going to be maybe in the audience clapping for you, cheering you on as well. All right, now let's look at LinkedIn as leverage for global opportunities. So when we say that, what does it mean? Right now, okay, let's leave Instagram, TikTok, IG, and all of that. There are over 1.3 billion people on LinkedIn. And out of 1.3 billion people, just 1% posts weekly. Just 1%. I mean 1%. That means 99% of LinkedIn are not active. So this is the best time for a creator to start showing up on LinkedIn. This is the best time for a newbie to start putting himself or herself out on LinkedIn. It's going to be like a dream per se, but then in little time, the results are so massive. Like I'm telling you, December 2024, it still feels like yesterday. In 1 year and 6 months, by God's grace, like I built a brand that I know that is strong, all right? it's strong, it's visible, it's in front of the right people, and it's paying. All right, because I think this we are in the age where we want to do things that pay us. Everybody's looking for money, and if you're a Nigerian or an African, you know how difficult it is, especially when you don't know people, to actually enter into specific sectors and offices in this country. But LinkedIn doesn't do that. It gives you that leverage. So imagine just 1% of people are posting. So 99% of people are not active. You have the space, you have the stage, you have to you have to get up on your feet and take it and start posting and start showing up. I don't know if you understand. Now, if 99% of people are watching, that means every young Nigerian, you have an advantage. You have an advantage. In fact, I love it how nowadays on LinkedIn, when you go online on LinkedIn, Nigerians are taking over, Africans are taking over. I love it. Like if you see the numbers, when I started posting on LinkedIn, numbers, people didn't have numbers, all right. Like the impressions, likes, and all of that, so we just average. It was mainly the white folks that were doing so well. But now Nigerians, in fact, if you're a Nigerian, you need to start building now, because you would easily have a community and people to support you if you're doing the right things. So you want global opportunities, you want your financial life to be empowered. Sorry, you want your financial life to be, uplifted. You want a kind of testimony that by the end of the year, or by the end of, should I say, 2027, you have something tangible to show. Then you need to start acting right now. You need to start acting immediately. Okay. So now that we understand these statistics, now what is personal branding? I'm going to open that question to the house. If someone walks up to you and asks you, what is personal branding? What are you going to say? So let me see some interesting comments in the chat box. Interesting comments, interesting comments, interesting comments. What is personal branding? We see it a lot on Twitter, or that's X, on Instagram. Personal branding, personal branding. To you as a person, what is personal branding? Let me come check the comments because I can't see right now. Okay, personal branding. Okay. Oh wow, I can see you guys comment. You guys are actually typing. Thank you so much. Showing what you do, who you are, and how you do it. Okay, interesting. Is what people say when you're not in the room. I love that definition, Deborah. Thank you. Reflect who you are. Is a perception of who you are, perception of who and what defines you, how you brand yourself, like all about your packaging. Okay. Thank you, Favor. Thank you, Neoma. This is how I want people to know me when they come in contact with me, is how people perceive you. Interesting. Everybody has like a very unique perspective to what personal branding is. Now I'm going to give you my own definition of personal branding. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so much. So when it comes to personal branding for me, what is personal branding? Personal branding is literally an economy of trust that you build so that opportunities can come to you pre-sold, whether you are in the room or not. So personal branding has to do with trust, all right? Trust that leads to sales and conversion, whether you are in the room or not. That means you can be building a personal brand in your mind, but people do not know that you're building a personal brand because they don't trust you. So, the currency for a strong personal brand is trust. Now, that's why I love some of the definitions that you guys gave, because if someone trusts you, they can recommend you in rooms that you're not there. It's about trust. So that means everything you do online should drive people towards the direction of trust. Now, when they drive people towards the direction of trust, it is easy for you to convert and make sales. So this is not just for LinkedIn, this is for Instagram, X, Facebook, YouTube. All right. So let's imagine now. God. I'm going to give you an example. I love this example. When I was reading, I think it's Otedola's book, Making It Big, he gave one example that will never leave my mind. Let me share the story with you guys. So He wanted to buy a car. This is paraphrased right now, but he wanted to buy a car. So he called the vendor to come with the car. And when the vendor came with the car, he assessed the vendor. And the vendor was like, he asked the vendor, how much is this car? The vendor said that the car is, let's say, 900 million naira. Otedola now told him that no, he's going to pay him 400 million naira, okay, for the car. And after the negotiation and all of that, they finally came to an agreement at 450 million naira. All right, 450 million naira. That's like half of the money now, right? Now, before Otedola left, he asked the guy, he said, do you know why I confidently priced you 450 million naira? It's because I knew you're going to agree to the price. And it's because you don't look like someone that would, readily stand by 700k, 800k. You don't look like it at all. That from the moment the man walked into the space, all right, from his dressing and everything, he was looking like someone that is not even the 450. He had to manage to call the price for him. I think I'll be understanding. So he now kind of introduced the concept of branding to him. That okay, rather than the way you dressed right now, let's imagine you were coming for this kind of contract and you put on a suit and you put on, your hair was neatly done, your outfit, the way you spoke, the car you came with, all of that, I would be confident and sign even, 800 million with you, even the 900 million. But because of the way you appeared, this is what my own perception about you was. And that was why I could confidently charge you or pay you 450 million naira. The day I read that book, it opened my mind to a lot of things and mistakes people make on social media, even on LinkedIn. If you want premium clients, you have to look premium. It is non negotiable. If you want to build a strong personal brand that will land you those clients, 7 figures, 8 figures, all of that, you have to look premium. Now, let's imagine I hopped on this call with you guys and I was looking like someone that is very hungry, and my background, everything is just, giving some certain kind of vibe and all of that. You might not like, yes, it's Blossom Affia, all right, but you might not really, trust what I'm saying. You just be like, where is this lady? Where did she wake up from? All right, and what's going on here? That's branding. That's branding. That's branding. That's branding. I'm not saying you have to wait for the perfect setup and all of that, but you need to have that in mind, because if you're on LinkedIn and you want to attract those big clients that will pay you very well, you have to understand that it's about trust, and people will not trust what is looking fake or what is looking, unnice or unprofessional. You have to look the part. That's personal branding. Now, another thing about personal branding that people should understand is that when they say personal branding is personal branding because it's personal. So the key word there is personal. So anything you're doing that is not personal in your branding, then you're doing the wrong thing. I'm saying this to people that have or derive joy in copying people. You see a creator doing A, you want to copy exactly the way the creator wrote a content, the way the creator took a picture. In fact, you go and buy the exact shirt that the person wore, or you want to make the exact hair that the person made, or I don't know. So you have to understand that, because if you understand that, you understand the personality behind branding, and it will help you build something that is very, very strong. I mean, very, 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 very strong. All right. So that's personal branding. So that whether you're in the room or you are not in the room, you are converting. You are closing deals. That's been my story. That's been my story. I wrote a post on Thursday on LinkedIn how I got one client on LinkedIn that kept referring me to bigger, bigger, bigger people. That is it, because she trusts me. So if you're able to show up and build that brand, you'll be able to build trust, and that trust will convert. All right. Now let's look at something else. We've talked a bit about personal branding, and I hope we have a bit of clarity about that. Now let's see the equation for personal branding. I like this one. It's clarity times consistency times credibility. That is your currency when it comes to branding. I'm going to take my time to talk about this a bit. Clarity, consistency, credibility. Now, what is clarity? When you talk about clarity, clarity is your understanding what your vision and goals are on LinkedIn, your ideal clients, all right? You understand who you serve, the problems that they have. That understanding is what we call clarity. But the confusion here is that some people always ask me, Blossom, what if, I don't even know what I want to do yet? I just want to start showing up online. That's not bad. But please, you cannot remain in that state for a very long time. You need clarity in personal branding. So let's say you start unclear. Like myself, I would always use myself as an example. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I started showing up. And then over time, I learned and I unlearned, I relearned, and I had to change a lot of things as regards my brand. So when we talk about clarity, you understand, okay, these are the people I serve, these are their pain points, these are their problems, this is the solution I can prefer to them. You know, it's very important in branding. I like to call it the awareness stage. So some people even take out time like 2, 3 months to actually think through these things before they start showing up. But me, I'm not a fan of overthinking. All right, just start it somewhere, somehow you figure it out. All right, clarity number one. Number two, consistency. And that's one of the things that give me headache on LinkedIn because a lot of people think that LinkedIn is a I don't know, it's just a place where you just jump in and jump out. Like you want a client today, you just jump into LinkedIn. Bah. And the next 24 hours, 48 hours, 1 week, you've gotten that client. No. Or maybe you want to build a personal brand and you think it's 1 month. After 1 month, I'm tired, I'm not seeing results, I'm not doing it again, I'm not going to show up again. 1 month, oh, 1 month. Think about it, 1 month. Like, is that how trust is built? At least now we understand that trust is that very, very important ingredient. But who trusts you in 1 month, like randomly, a random stranger online, And some people are now using AI pictures, so that means you don't even know your real face. All right, it doesn't work that way. Personal branding needs consistency. One of the things that have helped me on LinkedIn, I love sharing it, all right, but I'm not sharing it so you do exactly what I did. But I share it so that you see the amount of effort and consistency I put into my journey. Would you believe me if I told you that for the past 500 days, I've been showing up every single day on LinkedIn by 6 a.m. without missing one day? I mean, without missing one day. 500 days by 6 a.m. in the morning. I mean, 6 a.m. Like, it's good. To the point that my community members, all right, once the 6:01 or 6:02 and they've not seen my post, even if it's on Sunday, they'll enter my DM. Blossom, where is your post? We have not seen it today. For the past 500 days. Now, I don't tell people these things to do what I did, but I want you to understand that consistency is an important ingredient in your personal branding, and you have to show up, especially on LinkedIn. Because the first month you show up, let's say it's building momentum, people start seeing you and they're like, okay, who is this person? This person seems interesting. This person seems, fun to be with and all of that. I want to get to know her. I love her personality, the way she writes, the way she talks. And before you know it, trust starts building slowly. But then you'll not get the result you want in 1 month, not even 2 months. Now I'm putting together a course for my community members. I even had to like put it in an app so it makes it easier for them. I call it the LinkedIn Fast Lane because I think one of the things that slow people down in their first 3 months on LinkedIn is the fact that they don't know what to do. That was my own story. I'm telling you, if you have the right information, in 3 months you should see good results on your page. I know people like that. And that's why I had to pick my brain, everything I know, all of my master classes I've ever hosted into a course with even extra videos, resources, assignments, quizzes. And I call it the LinkedIn Fast Lane. I can confidently recommend it to you because I know there is no how, except the village people, like their power as strong as this, our God's power, but it's not even possible. But like, you would see results. I'm not saying this so you come to me, no. if you want to come to me, you're open to that, Sha. But then I'm saying this because I want you to know that if you actually have a target of growing on LinkedIn and you want to get massive results, number one, you need to know the right things to do. And that's why I have a session like this to guide you on the fundamentals of LinkedIn, because this is the foundation of anything you can do on that platform and thrive. Now, once you are consistent, the next thing is credibility. LinkedIn is not cho cho cho. LinkedIn is not I am the best graphics designer in the world. We have to see it. Like, if you're a graphics designer, there are many others that are even better than you. I mean, come to LinkedIn, you will see talent. Content writers, in your mind, you'll be like, "Ah, I can write content so well, and this." I know someone like that, like in my church, very good content writer, but she can't even really stay in the LinkedIn space because she finds it very suffocating. All right. So there are many people that are talented. But the thing about LinkedIn is that if you want people to trust you and know that, okay, you're very good, you have to be visible, number one. Number two, you have to show us proof. That's where credibility comes in. So for everything you do for your clients, for your previous clients, the testimonials, the screenshots, the metrics, the case studies, all of those things, you have to bring it if you want to build a strong personal brand, because that is one of the ways people will trust you faster. There's a lady on LinkedIn, she's a content writer. I remember when she started posting, she would just be posting figures up and down. I made $6,000, $7,000. I'm like, who are you, this woman? Who are you? Who are you? All right. But the thing about LinkedIn is that if you overshare some kinds of things, good, people will not connect with your story because now you don't look human anymore. And that's why if you notice my personal brand, I'm a kind of person that I love posting my wins, but then I love to be vulnerable, to tell people the truth about it. That it's not easy. It's not that I just woke up and I had 13 million impressions. I started from two. There were days I was crying on my bed and I wanted to run away. That's my story, and that's how you share them. So when it comes to this proof of work, let's say you have these clients, all right, please don't be shy. As long as there are testimonials you can put in public, please always bring it to the platform, put it there. It will help you build a very strong brand, and it will help you convert better. So once you have clarity, you're consistent, and you also have this proof of work to show, what will come out of it is the currency on LinkedIn, and that includes the paid opportunities, the speaking gigs, the foreign clients, the inbound leads. All of those things will start coming naturally. I mean, naturally. I don't remember the day, like the last time I really sat down to do cold outreaches and all of that, because most of the opportunities I've gotten on LinkedIn, if they come to my inbox, I don't know, when people say people don't get jobs on LinkedIn or they don't get opportunities, I'm like, I don't know how to prove this thing anymore. Or like, I know it's not just me, but other creators that are seeing results on LinkedIn. Like, how do we explain that there are actually these opportunities on LinkedIn? This is me telling you from my mouth of mouth. I don't know how to explain this to you guys. But like, if you come to my DM and my Calendly link, it is booked. Like, people are booking and paying. I just had a message this evening from someone that wants me to position her on LinkedIn. And this is a good amount of money in USD. It's not $50, not 100, not $200. Do you get? So like, the opportunities are there, but if you are not clear about it, you're not consistent to show up and be remembered, and build the trust, the momentum, then the credibility, you're not showing people what you know, because what you know just lives in your head if you don't get to say it out. All right, you have to show all those things. That is where the opportunities come. Now, gone are those days. Oh my god, when I was younger, a bit younger, when I was trying to get into school, I went through a lot, and I'm just going to share maybe a bit about it here. Okay, a particular course I wanted to do at that time, so I had some very good scores and all of that. They didn't pick me. I remember when I went to the office with my dad to ask them, why didn't you pick me? Oh, my dad was so curious. Like, this lady literally scored, over 300 in USM and in JAM, and the I think we didn't even have post UTME at that time for that particular institution I was writing for. So what is the problem? Why didn't you um pick her and all of that. And what was their excuse? So they just said that people that knew, my father knows my uncle or your uncle that knows the governor, that knows the senator and all of that. They kind of brought their candidates and the list was filled. So it's a sad reality in our country, but then it's what happened to me. It's part of my story. So I'm going to share it boldly to encourage somebody. So me that I did not have those people like that, I think is one of those things that challenged me when I came to LinkedIn. I'm like, LinkedIn has to work for me. I've gone through a lot. So I was now like, oh, so because my father is not this and my uncle is not that, so I can't access certain places and all of that. It was so sad. But you know what happens with visibility in 2026? You don't even need to know anybody. Who did I know? Oh my God. If it was by knowing someone on LinkedIn, I wouldn't have gotten to where I am. All that you need, that time you just have to have access to someone, the opportunities to come, you make money, even if you want to go for a job. No, that's not what is happening now. Now you just need to be visible. All right, visible, be credible, show us what you can do, and those things will give you access to the right people, the opportunities will come and the money will come. So you see, the old order of things are gone. We are in a new era, we are in a new season, and you have to capitalize on it, because whether you're a 23-year-old person in Lagos, so in Onitsha, in Aba, in Wesef, in Akwa Ibom, in Imo State, in Abuja, you have no excuse. I mean, no excuse in 2026 not to make the money you should be making, because there is money online. Not to even talk about other social media platforms. On LinkedIn, there is money. Okay, so you just have to ensure that you position yourself well and you are visible to the right people. So I think I'm saying a lot. Now, why do I choose LinkedIn instead of Instagram or TikTok? I told you it's my own personal preference, and the fact that we have a lot of buyers on LinkedIn, decision makers, I mean CEOs. You would just basically be having conversations with people and be wondering, like, God, how did I get to this point? I mean CEOs of companies that are willing to pay you. No, I cannot trade LinkedIn for anything like any other social media platform. Okay. And now the good thing is that presently there are over 11 million Nigerians on LinkedIn, and most of them between 18 to 34. Young people, young people, young people. So if you're young, you don't even need to overthink it. You're relating with like minds, you're relating with fellow hustlers and bustlers. All right. So it's easier for you to build a community on LinkedIn. It's easier for you to connect with people, and it's easier for you to do well, especially now where Nigerians are really doing so well on LinkedIn. So, like, you're a Nigerian, imagine now, content writing in Nigeria is not easy. So, if you want to write for a Nigerian, you have to know how to write for a Nigerian. Okay, so I'm so sorry, guys. My mom just called. I had to just, put my phone on D&D. I'll call her back after this. But then, yeah, as I was saying, as a Nigerian, let's imagine that you charge, let's say, 50K for a design project, 50,000 naira. You're very excited for Nigerians. With the exposure that LinkedIn gives, you can easily charge that project at $200, $300 or more. I know designers that charge that much. You know what we call brand identity. I know people that charge over $500 for just one project in brand identity. And that's the edge that LinkedIn gives. As long as you understand sales, marketing, offer creation, and how to position yourself well, you're going to do well on the platform. So I had to mention that. So when it comes to positioning now, what are we talking about? We've been saying a lot of positioning, positioning, positioning. Positioning answers three questions: who you help, how you help them, and why they should believe in you. All right. In fact, some people have other extensions of the outcome. Example, what are the outcomes? All right. What do they get from you? That's another positioning question. So a lot of people are struggling on social media and on LinkedIn because they cannot answer these questions. All right. But in as much as they can't answer it, I still try to understand from the point that, okay, some people are still new on these platforms. But for you to thrive and actually do so well, you need to understand these questions. Like you need to have answers to these questions. That's why I say that the awareness phase is very important. Sit down and ask yourself these questions. And it's also what is going to help your consistency. Blossom, how were you able to show up for 500 days plus without, is it that you did not get tired or you did not run out of content? I got tired though because I'm a human being. I ran out of content, yes, but I still had things to say. I think most times you just overcomplicate content. Because personal branding is not a corporate brand, it's a personal brand. Every day you're going out, there are stories to tell. All right. So I think people just always wait for that perfect post, perfect inspiration, perfect hook to write a content before. No, you have to know how to incorporate things that are happening around you every day into your branding, and that way you won't run out of content. So once you know this and you can understand who you help, are you helping founders, are you helping CEOs, are you helping C-suite executives, will you be helping SaaS founders, operators like COOs, like who are the people you want to help? Number one. Now what do you do to help them? How do you want to help them? You should know how to answer that question. Then why should they believe in you? That's where your social proof comes in, credibility. So you can easily add these things to your headline, to your banner, to your about section, to your featured section. You know, you can put it even in a website, a landing page. You can put it in um your testimonials, your portfolio, but anything that will ensure that people trust you more than your competitor. You have to put it out there, and you need just, you don't even need everybody. You need to be visible to the right people. Now, how do you stack your positioning? I have 3 or 4 P's here. Number one, promise. You know that headline where we put on LinkedIn? That's for those of us that are on LinkedIn. It's not just a random sentence, it's a promise, it's a copy that, okay, I help this person move from this to this, all right, through this method. Specific person, specific outcome, specific deliverability. Take note of this particular thing I just said, because you're not just, I help founders. I don't understand founders. There are many types of founders. The more specific you are, the more you're going to get results. That's why if you look at my profile on LinkedIn, I just left it at making you visible and irresistible, because for my kind of niche and my offer proposition, I can serve anybody. But when it came to building my agency, that's Credence, the website, I had to categorically name the person that I will be solving a problem for, because the more targeted you are, the more you're going to convert. So I hope that helps someone. Yes, number one. That's one. Number two, proof. We've talked about it. Don't be shy to share your results, your testimonials, case studies. It's very important in positioning. So after you've promised people, try to show them why they should choose you. That's where your proof comes in. Now your presence, every part of your profile is important when it comes to social media, not just LinkedIn. I mean, your presence is so important that your comments should also reflect who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them. So you cannot sound like a professional on your profile and all of that. Then your comments, 100%, in fact, 99% of your comments are maybe memes, and they are not they are not statements that people can take seriously. Okay, so you need to know that your presence matters. Every part of it, even in your profile, your presence matters in positioning. Remember, for you to attract the premium clients that will pay you well, you have to look premium. So you have to understand how powerful your presence is and use it the right way. Okay, I hope that helps. Now, the last one is the point of view. Please don't be scared to share your opinions on LinkedIn. Like, LinkedIn has evolved. In fact, I love the new LinkedIn because now people are saying their minds, but we say it in a nice way. That's why, you know, LinkedIn is different from X and all these other social media platforms, TikTok, that, people will just say their minds like that. But LinkedIn, we say our mind, but we say it in a more coordinated way. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, so we say it in a more coordinated way. So you have a point of view, you have a perspective, you have your story to tell. Please and please share it. Tell us about it. People would always be excited to learn about that. So let me be sure that people are still hearing me and you're learning something. If you're learning something, let me see some emojis, some emojis. Before I continue, I want to round up so we can tackle some questions. Oh, I can see Rose, I can see Deborah, I can see Ematek, I can see Ore Davis, I can see Aisha, Peace, Favor, Chim Ebuka, Aisha, Edidion Basi, Israel. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so let's hurry up, okay? Because it's getting late. Now, how do you convert on LinkedIn? You want to position yourself for global opportunities, all right? We've already established that you have to also look like a global creator, not just a random Nigerian creator. You have to make sure that your brand is giving premium from your profile picture. All right. So every single thing you do, you have to sound and look global. So that has been established. Number two, now, if you want to create content on LinkedIn, how do you move from content to cash? How do you make money from your content on LinkedIn? There are two ways, all right, that works. Number one is inbound leads. Number two is outbound marketing. Now, inbound is more like you put out your content, your comments, and people come to you and ask for your service. This is my own dwelling place because most of my clients are inbound leads. All right. I don't like stress. I don't like reaching out to people. And it's one of the reasons I prefer Fiverr to Upwork because I don't have strength to be crafting proposal every time. I just feel that if my profile is good enough, you should come and choose me and work with me. That's my own personal preference, all right. But then um Upwork works because people are still landing a lot of big clients there. All right. Now it's the same thing with LinkedIn. So people come to you on LinkedIn, and then you can also reach out to people. I like people coming to me, but the other one still works. And in fact, people close a lot of money from the other one as well. I have a friend named George, the guy I said that opened my profile for me. He doesn't even post any content on LinkedIn, but he's still landing over 3,000, 4,000 USD clients per month. He was the one that brought me to LinkedIn because when I saw him making all this money, I was like, guy, how are you doing it? He was now like, okay, come to LinkedIn. And he was working with a company. At that time, the company was paying him, I think, about 4,000 USD per month. And he does not even put out a particular content. But I think another factor that helped him is his niche. He's a web developer, back end, all those things. You know how you people say those things? That's what he was doing. So he made a lot of money. He was working for a foreign company. So that's outbound marketing. So he was reaching out to them. Now for inbound, if you want to get inbound leads, there are many things that are important. Number one is that you have to set up your profile well. So you need to have a very strong profile picture that commands authority. You need to have a very powerful headline, like we said, that has a promise attached to it. You need to have a banner that does, like, your banner is not just the colors and fonts. It's having a strong copy as well, a secondary complementary copy to your headline, and then proof of work. Maybe you can mention the people you've worked with, the agencies you've worked with, some awards you've collected, something that will just signal you out from the crowd. You need that for your banner. Then your about section. About section is about you, about your audience. So you're telling us the story of how you can become a solution to the problems that your ideal clients are going through. So that is your about section. Your feature section is your billboard, your offers, you bring them there. So the problem is that I see a lot of people put their pin post. When I came to LinkedIn, I used to do that thing. So I understand. So when my post just goes viral, hits maybe 100 likes, 200, 300 that time, I'll just rush and pin it to my feature section. Please, if you're here and you're doing that, don't do it again. It does not pay. All right, you're looking for things and strategies that will pay. So that one does not pay. So you don't have to do it. So what works in your feature section is that your feature section is more of like an offer page where the things you sell, you get to list it. It's just like now in the market, you're selling pepper, you're selling onions, selling tomatoes, and then you know how to arrange them there. Even in the supermarket, that's you understand. So on LinkedIn, you're selling a done for you service. You have a thumbnail for that. You're selling a done with you service. You have a thumbnail for that. You're selling, let's say, a do it yourself service. You have a thumbnail for that. It just goes like that. Now, how do you arrange this? You arrange them in order of priority. Which one is more important to you? What is your chief offer? If you come to my profile on LinkedIn, research Blossom Affia on LinkedIn, and you scroll down to my featured section, you will see that my first offer is my done for you service. That's my credence agency services. So from profile positioning, people that don't know how to position themselves well and they need my expert advice, I do that, to content strategy and writing. Some people are like, Blossom, I want you to help me with my content, or I don't know what to write. I do that as well. Then I also do account management, full-time account management. It's there in the first page of my profile, of my feature section. Then the done with you is more of like my consultation calls I have with people per hour. So you hop on the call with me and I give you my strategies. I audit your profile, tell you what is working, what is not working. So why am I mentioning these things to you guys? Because I want you to see the order of how I arrange these things on my profile. The first one is the done for you, which is my primary offer. Then the done with you, which is my secondary offer. That means you cannot even craft a powerful feature section without having an understanding of your offers, number one, and which of them is primary to you and secondary to you and tertiary to you. Now, another thing is that your feature section, you can add your testimonials there. You can add any other credibility factor that you have there just to increase that credibility there. So that's that for profile building, all right. So you can do that work on your about section, you're good to go. Now, number two, when it comes to content to cash, is your content. All right. When it comes to inbound leads, outbound leads, it's your content. Why? Because why am I saying your content? Why did I put your profile first before content? Because no matter how good your content is, if somebody wants to work with you, 98% of them will come back to your profile to see who you are and if there is clarity on what you do and how easy it is for them to reach out to you. And then they also want to know why they should trust you above someone else that is doing the same thing with you. That's your competitors. So your profile needs to be set up first before you even think of inbound and outbound. All right. So your content is the next thing you get to work on. Your content now, how do you create good content that brings clients to you, that pays? Number one, you attract with authority. Attracts, all right. How do you do that? By always creating content that solves a problem. You are not coming to LinkedIn to just say your mind or to write like you're writing in your diary, or maybe to just have fun and crack jokes and then you go. No, you're coming because you have the goal of monetization. Abi, is it just me? I think maybe sometimes when I think about these things, I feel that everybody's goals are different. Some people don't want money on LinkedIn. Let me see if you actually want to build on LinkedIn to monetize. Let me see some of you. Okay, let me see. Um, let me see people that actually want to monetize on LinkedIn. Let me be sure that it's not just me, because I think some content I see sometimes I'll be wondering, does this person want to monetize? Oh, I can see the high. And Desi, you had to make your high very high. Hi. I can see. Okay, I can see you guys. Hi, Probert. I see you as well. Okay, thank you. I thank you. I love that, because the fact that you know that it already helps you, your mindset. There's something about the mind. Once you can fathom some things, it makes it very possible. Okay, so if you want to monetize, that means your content should be drafted in ways that you can monetize. So you have to attract with authority. How do you build authority with your content? Share frameworks. All right, share frameworks. Someone that does it very well that I love is Adefe. If she's teaching you, hear her mentioning frameworks that you can easily remember and apply it to your brand. You have to think that way. You have to share the before and afters. Like I said, people are not just interested in your wins, they want to know the process. So for you to build authority is you telling people that I went from A to B or A to C. That you did not just wake up one morning and you flew and you entered C. I don't think that makes sense. So you being able to tell us the before, the in between, the after, that makes your story powerful and you become an authority. Now the third thing is sharing contrarian takes as well. Don't be afraid to say the things people don't want to say. Like, people know that this is a bracelet, all right, but they don't want to say it because they know if they say it now, it's going to call people out. Don't be afraid to say it. But when you're writing contrarian content, be nice. All right. There's how you can correct with love. You're not just coming to like drag somebody, or I don't know. I think some people, that's the line people don't know how to um draw. They just feel that okay, because they have a point of view, they want to choke us with their truth. Everybody's entitled to their opinions, right? So you can always bring up your content and then still sound very nice, friendly, and human. Okay. So that's for attracting with authority. Next thing is one with vulnerability. I've already said it. If you want to thrive on LinkedIn, you have to be a storyteller. You have to learn to tell your stories, because that's what differentiates content writer A from content writer B. So we are tired of seeing the same advice every day. Consistency is key. Oh yeah, consistency is key, and I've been showing, and someone has been showing up for 6 months without results, for 3 years without tangible results. Okay, so we want to know the story. We want to hear from, we want to hear something different. Okay, if you're telling us consistency is key in your life, how did it happen to you? Like, how exactly were you able to apply the consistency is key mantra and it's worked for you? So we need your stories. We want to hear from you. Anybody can go and type on Claude and ask Claude, give me hooks five types of hooks I can use on LinkedIn. So if you come and then your content every day is just like five types of hooks you can use on LinkedIn. The next day, three content strategy that can move you from this to this. People would engage at some point, but you won't build a very strong brand, because those things are things that they can see and hear and read anywhere. So your story is what makes it powerful. And for me, a creator on LinkedIn that has actually gotten moved from 2 impressions to about 30 million impressions on LinkedIn, I can tell you that most of my viral posts that hit numbers, I mean 6,000, 7,000 likes and all of that, 100,000 impressions and above, were posts that I told my story. All right. And it makes sense because people are tired of seeing the same regurgitated advice. So please be vulnerable at some point, but also know where to draw a line. We are not saying you should come on LinkedIn and you start crying. Oh, this, that. No, no, no. Be vulnerable, but remember that the internet does not forget at all, at all, at all. So some of the things you say today will be used against you in the court of law in the future. So be very careful in the name of vulnerability. Know what you share and what you should not share. Now convert with clarity. Your profile is a landing page. I think we've established that. So you have to think like a salesperson, like a marketer. Oh, my time is gone, but I have a lot to say. But then we're almost done. Okay. So you have to think like a salesperson, a marketer. Your offers, please don't be shy to put them out the right way. In fact, learn offer creation. Number one, that's my assignment for you guys. Learn how to create offers, so that when you come to LinkedIn and you want to build your landing page, which is your profile, you know how to strategically put links in specific places, so that anybody that visits your profile through your content or your engagement, they can come there and then they see your offers and then they buy and they pay immediately without having to think about it. Yeah. So that's one of the secrets to convert and make some good money on LinkedIn. Okay, so some people do outbound. This is, I've just been talking about inbound. So when it comes to outbound, you have to reach out to your ideal clients. It works as well. Oh. It works really, really well. So, but when it comes to that, you need to know how to nurture conversations. So we are not saying that because you saw founder credence on Blossom Affair's page, you come to my DM and tell me, Blossom, I want to be a content writer. No, 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 no. It doesn't work that way. So let's say you want to pitch somebody, okay, and reach out to the person. What do? First off, you build rapport with them in their comment section. You find like 10 people, 20 people a week. You study them, engage on their posts regularly, let them see you. And then it's easy for you to now start a conversation with them in their DM. So that moves them through the buyer's journey from just a cold buyer to a warm buyer. So you can easily sell to them because they know you, and so you can easily sell to them. I'm so sorry, please. So you can easily sell to them because they know you, and they actually trust you at that particular point. So if you can do that, then it goes a long way. So I think once you have that aside, you can now start a conversation with them in the DMs. And how do you do that? Oh, I saw your post today. I love what you did here. I saw what you did there, and all of that. And I want to help you do this. I want to help you move from this to this, and that. So it becomes a warm conversation. And then maybe a few days later, you can now present your offers to them. How do you present your offers to them? You present your offers to them by slowly selling to them and telling them that, okay, um this is what you offer and all of that, but you know how to craft it. That's why I said you should learn how to talk about offer creation. You should learn how to create it and how to communicate it, so that if you want to go the outbound route. I wrote a book on LinkedIn recently. It's a free resource. Actually, that one is about outbounds and outreaches. Yes. So that's another thing. So if you want the book, you can also come to me after this. It's free and all of that. So it will help you and guide you through the different steps of code DMs and all of that. So with that, you should be able to make money on LinkedIn, at least a good amount of money on LinkedIn. So I'm going to end with this, all right? So we go into the question session. And when it comes to revenue and making money on LinkedIn, some people confuse reach and revenue. Some people say, let me even ask, okay, if you're to ask to pick between reach and revenue, I think that's the last question I'm going to ask everybody before I go. Which of them would you pick? So, do you want to reach or do you want revenue? Do you want to reach or do you want revenue? Reach or revenue? Let me see what you guys are going to say. Someone said revenue. Okay. Revenue. That's Yongosi. We have Emmanuel says revenue as well. Michael Favor says revenue. Udo Udoka says revenue. Abu Sali says reach. Okay. So Ross Food says revenue. Okay, let me say what's the time, alright. So I don't actually would I say I don't actually blame anybody for their responses. Everybody's entitled to what they believe in. Okay, but for me, when I was in my journey, all right, there was a time in my journey where reach was more important than revenue. So I think that's where you understand where you are in your journey and what you want. I told myself when I came to LinkedIn, I wasn't going to look for money at all at that beginning stage. Like I wasn't going to pursue money. I was going to build influence, reach, visibility. So I spent 6 months on LinkedIn focused on visibility primarily, reach and all of that, and it paid because people saw me and they are still seeing me. So it's one of the secrets of my personal branding when it comes to my journey on LinkedIn. I like to tell people because um they need to understand that there was a phase where I had to lock in on visibility only. I wasn't really focused on the revenue and all of that. So, but when it was time for me to switch to revenue, it was easier because by then people trusted me. So, if I want to sell like a masterclass, a product, I already know that people would want to get it, not just because of the value, because obviously it's going to be valuable, but then because they trust me enough to. Right. So, reach without revenue is a hobby. I want you guys to listen. Reach without revenue is a hobby. That means you're just showing up for fun and you're not making money and you're just becoming visible every day. Bro, rah, we are not doing that here. Now, revenue without reach is a hustle. Revenue without reach is a hustle. Why? Because let's imagine now that you don't have visibility, you don't have reach, and you land the client. And then the client wakes up the next day and tells you, I don't want to work with you again. That means you have to start the process of looking for another client. It is a hustle. Personally, for me, if I lose a client today, I'm not so worried because the next day I know another inbound lead will come. That's what reach has done for me and trust. So, reach without revenue is a hobby. Revenue without reach is a hustle. You will hustle for a long time. Now, the balance and the power of personal branding, especially if you can build a solid one, is an intersection between reach and revenue. So, my advice for you is that yes, you're chasing the bag, but please be visible and increase your reach as much as you can so that you can build a sustainable, solid, and profitable brand. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you guys and not to confuse you guys that please go and start building on LinkedIn. You can even search for my account, connect with me, follow me, and all of that so you learn because I share a lot on LinkedIn. All right, I can't even talk about LinkedIn in 3 days because there's a lot to know. But I think I've been able to summarize the important things you need at this stage of your journey. And I can't wait to see you on the street of LinkedIn. If at any point you want to get my ebook or sign up to my LinkedIn fast lane, like that guarantees at least a level of success in 3 months and all of that, please don't feel um a certain kind of way. Just reach out to me on LinkedIn, send me a DM or whatever, and I'm going to respond to you. Thank you so much. I don't know if Ini is here or I can proceed with the question. So we can start posting our questions in the chat room. Let me see if I can answer them before Ini comes. Yep. Okay, 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 okay. Hmm. I don't even know where to start from. I wish I don't want to read a question. Uh, okay, someone said, I think it's Aru Bawu. Sorry, I don't know if I pronounced it well. How did you purchase your first ever content writing course for someone who wants to learn? I didn't have a course. I didn't take any course when I came to LinkedIn. Yep, I had to study creators and I found frameworks that work. That's why most times I teach, I'm not teaching theory or what I saw somewhere. I'm teaching you lived experience. I had to live it so that I can teach it boldly and confidently. So I didn't have a course. I was already a content writer, right? But when it comes to LinkedIn, when I came, I had to literally study patterns and study systems and study creators that were doing so well. That was what helped me. Yep, I hope that answers that. Okay, let me scroll. Let me see if I'm going to see another question. Someone says, I am very much convinced. Oh, thank you so much. My name on LinkedIn is Blossom Affia. Okay. Uh, I'm just seeing the same question. You. How did you purchase? How did you purchase? Oh my god. Okay, what is the most best book that you will recommend for personal development? It depends on what part of your life you want to develop. Yes, is it your finances, your spiritual life, your self-awareness kind of life, your confidence. So there are many books out there. I've read a lot of them. So for finances, there are many recommendations. Millionaire Fastlane, Richest Man in Babylon, all of those. Is it for sales and marketing? We have Sell Like Crazy, we have $100 million offers, we have so many books. Is it Diary of a CEO? There are many books, there are many, many, many of them that are really, really good. How can someone open a foreign account and receive the USD money? You can use Coachly, you can use Seller, you can use Sky, you can use Nestude, you can even go ahead to use payment platforms like Flutterwave, Paystack. You can use so many of them, Stripe. All right, you can use Wise. There's so many platforms out there you can use. Yup, yup, yup. So let me see. Which other question is here? Mm, okay, I don't have a skill yet. Which is advisable for LinkedIn visibility? What do you do? You need to learn a skill. I think that's one of the things Ini has been emphasizing. You need to learn a skill. You need to learn a skill. You need to learn a skill. There are many skills out there. From YouTube, we can have free resources. So you need to learn a skill. So I can see, why is a LinkedIn account so hard to open? My dear, I don't know. Maybe LinkedIn is just trying to, be difficult on some people. But then you need to keep trying, because I know that there are people that had issues opening their accounts, but they've been able to open their account. So just be patient with it and try using different devices and verification methods. So let's say you use NIN before, you can try using your passport the next time and all of that. It should work better that way. Okay, okay. Oh, you're welcome, Deborah. You're welcome. Okay, what soft skills are most monetized and effective on LinkedIn? Well, I'm a firm believer that your skills, like, it's not really about the type of skill. The type of skill matters, right? But the way you position yourself and present yourself. So content writers are making money, graphics designers are making money, virtual assistants are making money, social media managers are making money. Like almost everybody, they are making money. They just know how to do it well. So if I tell you a particular skill, then I'm going to be unfair. I'm just going to say, whatever you are doing, research and be sure that it's profitable at that moment, and then position yourself as the best, and then to give you the result you want. Yep. How do I start on LinkedIn? I think we've talked about that already. Um, what other question? Okay, at what point did you switch to revenue from which? After 6 months. It took me 6 months on LinkedIn. My first 6 months, I was just visibility, and that was when I grew the fastest on LinkedIn. My account was just flying because I knew my focus. So I put in effort into my content and building systems that will give me visibility. Yeah. Yes, you don't have a digital skills. In is here. In is going to guide you so you get skills and all of that. Do you advise we write to AI and how can we do that? Well, you can use AI. Many people use AI these days, but you need to know how to put the human part of you. AI should not use you, do you get? You should be the one using AI. So you should know how to edit your content and still put that personality and your stories into it. That's what makes it different from someone else that is using almost the same prompt as yourself. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so Amy, I think I've answered a lot. I don't know. Do you have more questions to ask or something? So,
I think the only question that I get a lot that I was hoping that you would undo, I think you've undone that, which was about opening a LinkedIn account because
okay.
I've gotten a lot of DM from people saying they are able to open LinkedIn account. So I don't know if maybe you know something that they can do, maybe something different that would help them be able to open the account. I
Well,
don't know.
for the account thing, I've also gotten a lot of DMs as regards that, Blossom have not been able to open. So what I used to tell them most times is that number one, they should try switching their verification methods to another document and also the device as well. Maybe if they're using their phones before, they should try using a system or a friend's phone or something just to ensure. But if at all it still persists, you can always send LinkedIn a message either on X. I think they respond faster on X or via an email, and you just state these things to them, and then they'll be able to guide you and yeah, make the process a bit stress free for you. So yeah, that's what I can say about that.
All right. So for Okay. So for those of you that have been asking that question, just try and reach out to. I think they're actually also very responsive on X, like you said, because I think there was the time I messaged them for an issue that I had. So you can try messaging them on X that you've been having issue opening your account, and most likely they should respond, and hopefully they should respond positively. I'm trying to see if this. Okay, there are a lot of questions here, but like what Blossom said, first of all, thank you so much, Blossom, for this session. It is very amazing. I learned a whole lot. Like personally, I was looking forward to this session, and I'm so glad that I stayed all through and I paid attention because I learned a whole lot and I'm reminded about a whole lot. And I'm sure everyone on this call. Right now, we still have about 255 people, and we started this with, I think, about 190 something people, which means that a lot of people actually got value, and that is why they stayed for over an hour. Thank you so much for coming. We are very, very grateful. Now, a lot of you have questions and a lot of questions, right? Blossom asked like resources that you should get, right? She made mention of some of them while she was teaching. So just go to her LinkedIn profile. I think the first thing that everyone on this course should do is to go to her LinkedIn profile, especially if you have a LinkedIn account already. Go to Blossom Affia, go and search for Blossom Affia on LinkedIn and connect with her, send connection request, and check out our featured section, right? You would see some of our product there. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, right? Get them. I think it was yesterday that I was talking and I said something like, you need to learn how to pay for value because that is something that you would eventually, as much as FSVE is free, the event is free, it's available for it. It's even though it's available to you for free, the event is not free, absolutely not free, right? So eventually a price has to be paid. Either you pay the price or someone pays it on your behalf. And one of the things that comes with growth is responsibility. So time would have to come where you will have to like be more intentional about your growth. So whether it is paid or free, go to our profile, and I'm sure that many of these resources, many of these questions that you have are answered in many of our resources. And even some questions that you don't even know you have, they have also been answered there. So once again, thank you so much, Blossom, for tonight. Um, I don't want to go over. I don't want to go over something that she has said again, right? Maybe like a recap because our time is gone. In case, well, one thing I would advise everyone to do is to listen to this session again, right? I wanted to say that in case you did not get some parts, listen to it again. But I recommend that everyone on this call right now, everyone that is listening to me, whether you're on this call right now or you are listening to the replay, try and go over this session again, because there are many things you will think you hear until you play it again and then you realize that, okay, I didn't really get this part. And remember that it is the knowledge engaged that transforms. It is not what you know, it is what you do with what you know. Thank you so much. I think this is where we wrap it up for tonight. Tomorrow is another day. We have another amazing lady, superwoman. These people are superwomen. Blossom and the guests we have tomorrow. These are amazing people doing great things that I'm really inspired by. And so tomorrow, don't miss it. Same time, 8 p.m. We are going to go live here. And tomorrow will be the night before the last night. Yeah, we have like 2 days to go. So do not miss tonight. Do not miss any of the remaining sessions. Again, thank you so much, Blossom. And thank you everyone for coming. See you tomorrow.
Okay. Bye.